Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So this is the Galaxy Note 8 in 8. First thing on the chopping block is the design. Now the Galaxy Note 8 design packs a different design. It's a square boxy phone which is very long and narrow. And this is the new design of devices, looks like, coming from Samsung. You do get an S Pen, you get an iris scanner, you get a fingerprint reader that's kind of awkwardly placed for me. They still do have the Bixby button, which I'm not a fan of. However, you do get a heart rate monitor and dual optical image stabilization on both of those rear cameras back there, so that's a huge plus. The design of the phone is eclectic and it's very nice. You got a rear bottom firing speaker with a headphone jack and Type-C as well. So they're checking some of the boxes here. Now, next on the chopping block is features and options. So what makes the Galaxy Note 8 unique in its own is because it has the S Pen suite. Galaxy Note owners are probably a fan of the S Pen suite alone. Aside from the beautiful screen and everything that comes with it, the S Pen suite is a function that most of us will use every day. I mean, every day. Some of the key features for me is the live photo that they have, and also the screen off feature, like when you can write on the screen without having the phone on. The live message photo, I'm sorry. But other than that, the Galaxy Samsung software is just another skin, but with the Note line, you do get those added features from the S Pen, and that's a huge plus. Now, I spoke about the screen just a moment ago. This screen is very immersive and it's very beautiful. I can't say that I'm disappointed. Samsung makes some of the best displays ever, and I don't think anybody who looks at this phone and watches a movie on it will be disappointed. The viewing angles on this Super AMOLED Quad HD display are absolutely fantastic. There is absolutely no denying that Samsung makes some of the best displays. In fact, several other phone manufacturers are now using Samsung displays in their products. It's not something that's new, but it's becoming well known that Samsung would get the bread, to get the paper. Because I think they use it in the new iPhone, if I'm not mistaken. The iPhone X, and I'm going to say X. Everybody say 10. But a lot of other phones that Samsung have, even if they're 1080p, they're still Super AMOLED. Even their 720p, my Galaxy J7 is 720p, and it's Super AMOLED, and it is gorgeous, just like this phone right here. So when you're searching for a phone, you really have to decide what I want in it, and the screen is going to be something that you're looking at all the time. So you kind of got to weigh that option. Is the Galaxy Note 8 one of the best screens on the market? I say definitely, yeah. Now, I spoke on the cameras when I talked about the build quality, but the cameras on the Galaxy Note 8, they produce fantastic footage. While I still feel the front camera lacks a little bit, the rear camera is absolutely outrageous. I mean, shooting 4K footage on this phone and walking with it and running and just the panning on it, it is absolutely crazy beautiful. Samsung phones do saturate a lot, and sometimes it doesn't seem as realistic or natural. But if you like that deep color, in your photos and your video, you'll love Samsung cameras because they definitely produce that type of footage. And the quality from the rear camera, again, it's actually stunning. It has 10 times zoom, and while you do zoom in a little bit, it does get a little grainy at times. It's still actually really solid, and this camera is top notch. While I don't feel it's the best set of cameras on the market at the moment, it's definitely in the top 2. Now let's switch over to software. Software besides the S Pen suite, if you just move aside the S Pen suite, you basically just have a Samsung phone. You just have a phone that has TouchWiz or Samsung Experience, whatever they're calling it. And with the Galaxy Note 8, it's actually pretty fluid. It's not as bad as one would think. I haven't had any bad experiences with it so far. I'm actually kind of surprised. I haven't had any lag, and some people may credit it to the 6 gigs of RAM. I credit it to them in the background, probably secretly doing things with the software to tweak it, because they can hear us telling them in all these videos and blogs and all over the web. They're paying attention. You can tell that the OEMs are watching. Now, whether they give us what we want every time, that's a different story. But Samsung, in fact, has to be tweaking the software because the RAM management on here is pretty good. It's, I don't have too many problems with the RAM management, but the overall experience in just the software itself is very fluid. I credit a little bit of it to the 6 gigs of RAM, but optimization is very important. So I always have at least 2.5 gigs of RAM free, at least, of the 6. So you can just call it half. You know, I always have at least just under half free. But the performance of the phone is actually really good. I haven't had any problems with it, and I'm hoping not to have any problems with it at all. So yeah, software on here, when you take away the S Pen, it's pretty much just Samsung experience. And for this phone, you've got Samsung Pay, you've got lots of features packed into here, and it's a good thing. You know, things that even if you're not going to use it, I say at least it's there, because I don't use a lot. I use Samsung Pay obviously because I have a Samsung Watch too, but the software experience is actually really good. So battery life is something that actually shocked me, because battery life on this thing is actually really decent. I mean, I'm able to pull down at least 5.5 hours of screen on time. Now that it's panning out, it's settling in. Initially I was getting 6.5, almost 7. And now that I'm rolling with it regularly and it's flowing along, I'm grabbing about 5.5 to 6 hours. That is actually pretty good. This battery is a 3300 milliamp hour battery, and seeing as though this phone has a 6.3 inch quad HD display, a lot of features packed in here, and that battery is still holding up very well. So Samsung did a great job with the battery life on this phone, and I don't foresee them losing a lot of people. They should be actually gaining people with this phone. This screen is just absolutely gorgeous, and the battery pushing that screen is 3300 milliamps. Kind of mind-blowing, but I'm able to get 5.5, and I'm a very heavy user. So if I didn't use this phone like back to back like that, I probably would get a couple of days with about 4.5 hours of screen on time. So yeah, but I do have to charge this at least within a 20 to 24 hour period, and that makes it all good for me, so I'm cool with it. Last thing is price. Price on this thing is $930 for these are the unlocked versions, and there's a lot of promos. I'm not going to tell you that that's not expensive, because it's very expensive, and it's just expensive. So if you can catch a promo and get it for $400 or $500 off or $300 off, take it. It's totally worth that price. If you have an old iPhone laying around, a G6, a G5 that you know, as long as it works, trade it in if you want to and get this. If you have an S7 and S5, definitely trade those in and get this if you just want a really big screen, a big immersive device. So the price on here, $930 unlocked, $900 through carriers pretty much. Add your taxes, you could be close to $1,000. But there it is, man. It's your man Jay Will. This is actually a really good deal. The phone is fantastic. I've really been enjoying it. So that's the Galaxy Note 8 in 8. It's your man Jay Will. I'm out. Take care.